Hello everyone, this is Dr. Atiqa Kelsy from the Department of English, St. Xavier's College, Jaipur. Today we are going to talk about two very basic figures of speech that we all come across and we probably even know and use them since our childhood, but maybe we don't know what they are called, and that's alliteration and onomatopoeia. Let's take a look at alliteration first. Alliteration is nothing but a series of repetitive sounds that are used in a sentence. We all have played such tongue twisters as children, like Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled pepper. The P sound is getting repeated everywhere. She sells seashells on the seashore. So the interplay of the S and the sh sound, the s and the sh sound makes it very interesting. A good cook could cook as many cookies as a good cook who could cook cookies. So the interplay of the K sound represented by the C. I want to make an important point here that we are not looking at the alphabet, but we are looking at the repetition of the sound, something that we hear. All Adam ate in August was apples and almonds. Barry bought a book to bring to the backyard barbecue. So the repetition of the A sound or A sound and the B sound in the next sentence, all of this is alliteration. So alliteration, as we've just seen with these numerous examples of tongue twisters, is nothing but a series of sounds or words repeated, and usually these sounds come at the beginning of the word. Let's look at a few examples. An example from a popular pop song and an example from a literature and an example from the literary world. Far Away by Nickelback. This time, this place, misused mistakes, too long, too late. Who was I to make you wait? So we see the repetition of the sound and the me sound is very alliterative. If you look at this very literary example by Andrew Marvell in his famous poem to his coy mistress, had we but world enough and time, this coyness lady were no crime. So we see how he uses the were sound and the k sound in the first two sentences. We would sit down and think which way to walk and pass our long love's day. In the last two sentences, he uses the were sound and also the l sound. So the repetition of any sound which lends music. What is the use of alliteration? It lends music to the poem or to the lyrics, and it makes it also easier for us as students of literature to learn these lines, and you can quote them anywhere. Now, alliteration is divided into two parts, or it can be used further by bifurcating the basic sounds. We all know we have the consonant sounds and the vowel sounds. So the repetition of a consonant sound usually is known as consonants. Consonants, consonants. That's how we remember it. And usually this repetition of consonant sounds has an interplay of a vowel sound. Look at these examples and you will understand. Live, love. So the l sound is consonants because of the repetition of a consonant sound l. But there is an interplay of the vowel sound of E and O. Lean, alone. Pitter, patter. So this is not necessarily in the beginning, but the sound is repeated. Lean, alone. So there is a E and a O sound interplay of vowel sounds between the l repetition. Let's look at a more literary example. Famous poem by W.H. Auden. Oh, where are you going? Out of this house, said rider to reader. Pay attention to the r sound. Yours never will, said fairer to fearer. The f sound. They're looking for you, said hearer to horror. As he left them there, as he left them there. So the sound is also repeated here in the last sentence, and you see the repetition of the consonant sounds which make it very lyrical or very easy for us to remember. The sound effect is what alliteration focuses on. Similarly, assonance is nothing but repetition of the similar vowel sound. So you have chip, dip, so the I sound, surf, turf, the sound, Go slow over the road. So the O sound. No pain, no gain. So the O sound and the A sound. Let's look at some examples. Hear the mellow wedding bells, golden bells. What a world of happiness their harmony foretells. So you see the sound, the S sound here, mellow, wedding, bells. Then the golden S sound repeated everywhere. And then there is an interplay of a O or a sound and an A sound in the last. That's the poem by Edgar Allan Poe. Let's come to the next thing that we want to talk about today, and that's onomatopoeia. And again, we all know these words as children. That's why I've put them together. Onomatopoeia is nothing but a word that closely represents the sound. That means it's a word that expresses the sound in its close proximity. We all have used these words like buzz of a bee, the splash. So we can imagine the stone hitting the water and there is a splashing sound. The boulder hit the ground with a flump. So we can imagine the thud, the flump. Leaves rustle. So the rustling of the sound, leaves, the whipping of the air. These are words that represent the sound very closely, and they are known as onomatopoeic words like hiss, clap, rattle, bang, rustle. Look at this poem, Splish Splash. I've taken it from pickmypoetry.com by a very famous author, Jennifer Betts, known for her poems for children. The drip drop of the rain. It's time to run. A big jump. Splish, splash goes the puddle. Squeal. And the child giggles happily. Look at the sound that she's using. Drip, drop. You can imagine the raindrops falling and it's time to run. So you can even hear the footsteps. A big jump. And you can imagine the child jumping because they want to jump in the water puddles. Splish, splash. And the moment the child jumps into the puddle, there's the water sound of splish, splash, and then the squeal, the happy squeal of the child because they've enjoyed jumping into the puddle. And then after the squeal, there is also the giggle. So the words drip, drop, splish, splash, squeal, giggle are all examples of onomatopoeia. Now, in onomatopoeia, you can have a variety of sounds. So there are animal sounds like moo of the cow, roar of the lion, buzz of the bee, or let's say cock-a-doodle-doo of the cock. There are nature sounds, that one we did just now, rustle, whoosh, swoosh, gasp, whiz, drizzle, sounds of voices that we all make when we are discussing something or talking, shh, shh, chatter, whisper, hiss, growl, giggle, murmur, mumble. Impact sounds when something hits something else with a force. Boom, bang, thump, thud, crash. Action sounds, ding, dong, fizz, boing, knock. So we have these all sounds and these words tend to represent the sound they stand for very closely. Let's look at a literary example now. The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe, one of my very favorite authors. While I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping. So tapping, okay, of someone gently rapping at my chamber door. Tapping, rapping. Okay, let's get back. 'Tis some visitor, I muttered, tapping at my chamber door. Only this and nothing more. This I whispered, and an echo murmured back the word Lenore. Merely this and nothing more. So look at the words tapping, rapping, whispered, echo, murmured. These are all examples of onomatopoeia. With this, we come to the end of today's lecture. Thank you for joining. Have a great day.